Hey guys, this is Vinny.
And this is Joe.
We are glad to have you guys along with us for this one because we are finally coming back to the chart. This is a big one because we are adding the Super Saiyan forms for Goku and his base form both before he achieves God Form Red and after he achieves God Form Red. So this is one that people have wanted to see for a long time. There's a lot of speculation out there on how to handle this. Where do the Super Saiyan and base forms go on the scaling when it comes to Dragon Ball Super? In addition, once Goku reaches this red form, God Form Red, what do the Super Saiyan forms look like as he transforms into them? What kind of boost does he get, and what is that all about? And especially how it fits on our scale. You know, we've seen a lot of people who have enjoyed the scale, and then there are some other people who are a little bit more critical and want to see certain things placed into it so that they understand how it works. And today's a big day because we're going to be placing those forms into the scale here. Now, when it comes to scaling the Super Saiyan forms, there's really two different camps, especially after Goku achieves God Form Red and after his fight with Beerus. What everyone agrees with are really the following things. First, we do know that Goku became God Form Red. Eventually, he loses that God Form Red, but he doesn't really lose it. It becomes a part of him. And he does this in the anime while he is in his Super Saiyan form. However, at this point, this is where the camp sort of split, because there are some people who really join the side where they say, well, once the Super Saiyan Red form becomes a part of Goku, he immediately gets multipliers in his Super Saiyan form. Essentially, Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3 are now stacked as multipliers because the red becomes his base. There are others in the other camp who believe that they don't stack immediately as multipliers, and they must first be mastered and combined with the God form in order to gain the multiplier. Before we tackle this issue, we just want to make a few things clear. First, we want everyone to know that we only scale the anime on this channel. We do not scale the manga, and we do not scale the movies. In the past, we have tried to look at some of the issues in the movie, specifically Battle of Gods, or some things in the manga, but it really is impossible to reconcile all three of these, or even just two of them. You can only really take one of them and use each one to create a scaling system. Here on V&J Reviews, we have chosen to scale the anime and only the anime. So we will only address those things that are in the anime, not the manga and not the movie. In addition, we need you guys to know too that Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super are vastly different. If you've been a fan of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, you know that. You can see that the power scaling is different, the power gains are different, and so we can't treat them exactly the same, and we don't. If you do try to treat them exactly the same, you're going to find yourself having a lot of issues and a lot of problems, and there are certain things that are very different in Dragon Ball Super. For example, we have never dealt with God Form before in the anime. So we don't know how God Form is going to react with the Super Saiyan forms. You might see a multiplier, you might not see a multiplier. You might see it stack, you might not. We can't make assumptions about how it's going to react because we've never actually dealt with this form before. With all of that said, we're going to get now into the beginning parts of explaining how we are going to scale the Super Saiyan forms. First, the initial setup is this. Goku goes into his red form after 5 righteous Saiyans give their ki or channel their ki into him as the 6th Saiyan. Once Goku has this happen, it's clear that something has happened in Goku. His appearance changes, his aura changes, he receives a massive boost in power. And it is so obvious that he received this massive boost in power because he says right to Beerus, this is incredibly crazy. This power is seriously crazy, Beerus-sama. And then, of course, at that point, he goes off to fight Beerus. He and Beerus engage in a fight for a while. After a little bit, Goku's red aura disappears. At this point, many people think probably the fight's over. Beerus thinks it's over. Nobody's really sure what's going to go on. And all of a sudden, Goku is able to continue his fight with Beerus. Beerus basically says, listen, your power is gone, but it's completely a part of your being at this point, and this is where the problem ensues. What does this mean? Does this mean Goku's base now is now God form Red? Does he get the multipliers? Does that mean all forms are as strong as Red? Does that mean that Super Saiyan is 50 times stronger than Red and Super Saiyan 2 is 100 times stronger? This is where a lot of the issues stem from. Now, with all of that said, there are certain things that we should expect to see if Goku gets a multiplier. If Goku actually absorbed the power of God into his base, and he gets the multiplier, that means his Super Saiyan form should be 50 times more powerful than he just was minutes ago, because he gets a multiplier. This is the way multipliers work. They are immediate, massive boosts. For example, we need to think Kaioken attacks. Whether Goku did his very first Kaioken, he doubles his power, and so forth as Goku goes up to Kaioken times 20. These attacks are massive, immediate changes in power. Think of the first time Goku ever went Super Saiyan. It's an immediate, massive multiplier. Gohan, when he went Super Saiyan times 2, there's no doubt about it. It's an immediate and massive multiplier, including Super Saiyan times 3. And of course, what we just looked at, Goku's God form Red. There is no doubt about any of the multipliers. Everyone knows it's clearly objective that there is a huge change going on here. Now, if a character gets twice as strong in any moment, they're going to know it, and you're going to know it too. That's the Kaioken. If a character gets 50 times as strong, it's simply insane. Those who are in the camp that Goku is going to get a multiplier, they need to be on the side that once this happens, Goku must in fact become 50 times stronger if he gets the multiplier. This needs to be immediate and massive. It cannot happen over time. It's not something that happens and absorbs over a period of time. Anyone who would say that would basically be using headcanon to say that, because we've never ever seen a multiplier do that before. This is where we start to get into the facts of the anime that give us really good insight into what actually happened. Once this occurs and Goku absorbs the power of God form Red into his being, he keeps fighting Beerus essentially at the same power level. It's not like his fighting changes really. He keeps going at the same power level. And Beerus says to him, Goku, do you know that you've just changed? You seriously did not notice that? And these words are important. Goku says, no. When did that happen? This indicates to us that Goku feels absolutely no different than before when he was fighting Beerus in God form Red. He loses the aura and he continues to fight in his Super Saiyan form, and he felt no change. He felt nothing. He noticed nothing. In fact, in his own words, he says, when Beerus asks him, you did not notice that? He says, no. When did that happen? He doesn't get weaker either. He in fact even states later on, a little bit later, that he doesn't get weaker either. So there's something interesting going on here, because if he gets a multiplier, it should be an immediate massive change, but it seems as if there is no immediate massive change here. In fact, he had no idea anything changed at all. He didn't feel much stronger or weaker. However, we do believe he actually did get a slight bit stronger. We're going to show you exactly why that's the case, but it was so slight he's not really going to know it. But one thing becomes very obvious here. There is no immediate multiplier. Zero. There is none. It's clear by his own words in the anime. Remember, we're talking anime only. This is not manga. They changed this for the manga because the manga will generally repair some of the issues that are caused in the anime. That's why a lot of people struggle with the anime a lot, because a lot of things are thrown out there and it doesn't make sense. Well, on this channel, we try to make it make sense for you. Many who really want Goku to get the multiplier here will say, look, okay, it doesn't look like he got immediately stronger, but over time, he continues to fight Beerus, and it looks like he's getting stronger. But the fact of the matter is Goku was getting stronger against Beerus when he was in God form Red before he even lost the Red form. He was getting stronger in his God form Red. He continued to get stronger in his Super Saiyan form. Goku is a Saiyan. He always gets stronger. Getting stronger in a fight has zero indication of a multiplier. A multiplier is a massive, immediate change. It is clear. It is Kaioken. It is Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3. It is God form Red, God form Blue later on. Now, we agree that he is getting stronger. In fact, Beerus even states the brilliance of the God form is within his being, and as a Saiyan, now that he has it a part of his being, he will continue to fight and get stronger and stronger and stronger. And in fact, Joe and I believe there is no doubt about this. He has surpassed his previous form because now he harnesses the power purely as a Saiyan, without the boundaries of a ritual that only lasts a while. And to harness it as a Saiyan means that he will certainly grow in it over time, as we even saw in the battle with Beerus. In fact, the narrator even states that he has surpassed his previous form. We agree with that. What did not happen, though, is he did not get a 50 times multiplier. That is clearly obvious from your own eyes and from hearing Goku and what he said and Beerus's reaction. It is obvious that there was no multiplier there. Remember what happened to Goku moments ago in God form Red when there was a multiplier. What did Goku say then? He said, "This is incredibly crazy. This power is seriously crazy, Beerus-sama." And he got so much more powerful in his Red form. And this is a big point here. Perhaps the greatest example used for those who believe Goku got a multiplier is the fact that he was able to sort of punch away and nullify Beerus's final attack at the end of the battle. But there are a couple of problems with this. Number one, this is not an example of a 50 times multiplier. This is an example of Goku maxing out fully all of the energy he has. And this is really indicated and shown by the fact that he's absolutely done after this. He completely runs out of power. So all he did was throw everything he had left into this. And the second and really the biggest issue with this is that Goku is actually in his base form when he does this. So no matter what side you're on, Goku only needed the power of the God form to do this. He's not even in his Super Saiyan form. So if you think this is an example of him having a 50 times multiplier, it can't be because he's in his base form. So before he did this, Goku noticed no change. And after he does this, Goku's in his base form at what Joe and I would say a similar power level, and he's able to stop Beerus's attack at a similar power level that he was at before. So this in no way indicates a 50 times multiplier. This is an important point. Now, because God Ki has never been experienced before, there is no way for us to know how the multipliers would or should stack with it. We shouldn't necessarily assume one way or the other. We should look at the anime and look at the facts and look at the fight and look at the information for what it is. Essentially, Goku is going to have to figure out how to be a Saiyan who has the powers of a Super Saiyan God who is a Super Saiyan. Unless Goku can figure out how to do that, he's not gonna get the multiplier. At least not with the God Ki and what we've seen here from his statement, because he doesn't have the multiplier yet. But guess what happens later on in Dragon Ball Super? After some training, he learns how to combine the forms in a way to get a multiplier, and what he says to Frieza is, "I am a Saiyan with the powers of a Super Saiyan God who is Super Saiyan." Goku figured out how to combine the two to get the multiplier, and it's obvious. Once again, it fits with, right along with Kaioken, Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, God Form Red, now it's God Form Blue. It's an obvious, immediate, massive change in power, and he gets his multiplier. What happened before with Beerus's fight when the red became a part of him was not a multiplier. Something different was going on there. Finally, with all of that set up, Joe and I are going to tell you what is going on in this situation. Beerus tells Goku that the red glow of Saiyan divinity may have left you, but the strength now burns within you like a flame. See, it is the God Ki within Goku that is supplying his strength. In fact, it doesn't matter what form Goku is in, that God Ki will add to Goku's strength. Therefore, when Goku loses the glow of the red form, he should retain that power because the red form now burns within him. It's not going to be multiplied, but it should remain in him. Remember again, Beerus says, seriously, you didn't notice that? And Goku says, well, no. When did it happen? That's strange. I guess I did lose it, but I'm not feeling weaker at all. The indication here is Goku's feeling pretty similar to how he felt before. Not 50 times stronger, but he has now maintained the power of God Form Red. We are saying that what is happening here is no matter what form he's in, he has basically added the power of God Form Red to it. His base is going to become red. His Saiyan form is going to become red plus Super Saiyan. His Saiyan 2, the same, and Saiyan 3. As far as red form goes, this is a little tough because it's really not red plus red because it is the red form itself that is supplying the power. So there is really not much we can say more about that because we just don't have any more information on it and we don't want to suppose something if we don't know. We do know it's going to be stronger than Super Saiyan 3 for a fact. How much stronger is up for debate. And you know, there's some ways to figure it out here or there. We're going to show you where we think it is, but we don't know for a fact 100% sure exactly how much stronger God Form Red is going to be. So this brings us to the question, where do all of these forms fit on the scale? Before he achieves God Form Red and after God Form Red becomes a part of Goku's state. There's a couple of ways that we can figure out where Goku should fit on this before God Form Red. One of the best indicators of where to put Goku here was based off of Vegeta's rage against Beerus. Essentially when Beerus smacks Bulma and then Vegeta just goes nuts on Beerus and hits him a couple times. And then Beerus says back to Vegeta, you know it's been a while since somebody has forced me to use 1/10 of my true power. Now, we're only going to take Beerus at his word here, that he used 1/10 of his power. Many people say he's lying or he didn't, but at least we know that at this point, Vegeta is stronger than Goku's Super Saiyan 3 form. And Beerus is saying that he used 1/10 of his power. So looking at 1/10 of his power on this side of the chart, the Super Saiyan 3 has to fall below this line, period. It cannot be above that line. It must be below that line simply based off of that. In addition, it has been insinuated by Toriyama that essentially Super Saiyan 3 is to God Form Red as base is to Super Saiyan form. Essentially, it is 50 times stronger. So you see the second line there, which is the line that where you add the multiplier on the first chart. Now, if you've seen our video, you know what the first chart is, and this is the second chart. We use a 2-chart system. When you apply the multiplier, the 50 times multiplier, that's where you would need to be to hit God Form Red. All right, so we know that it's likely around 50 times stronger than Super Saiyan 3, God Form Red, and we know that Super Saiyan 3 has to be below that line. So that gives us a pretty close indicator on the scaling. So based off of this, we can get pretty close to accurate on how to scale Goku before he goes into Super Saiyan God form. The base is going to be 0.1 on this scale. When we use the multiplier on the linear side, we do the 0.1 times 50, and that gives us 5. Now, those numbers on the side of the scale, that 1, 2, 3, and 4 you see going up, those are going to be Toriyama's original numbers, where he said in Battle of the Gods that Goku is a 6, Beerus is a 10, and Whis is a 15. We've taken those numbers and we've brought them to the anime, and we applied them to the anime only. We figured out a 2-scale system and a way to convert these things over. So, essentially, Goku is a 0.1. He in his base form, he's almost negligible on this. But because he gets a 50 times multiplier, he ends up being a 5. Super Saiyan 2 is a 10, and then we see Super Saiyan 3 as a 40. Now, according to Toriyama's numbers, it basically, the 40 would be like a 3.5. It doesn't mean that 3.5 and 3.5 is 7. Remember, it's not a linear chart here. This is for scaling only. If you're a little confused by that, you need to go back and watch our previous chart where we go through that stuff. We're not going to quite go in all of that right now. Now, when you look at this here, you could see that this is 50 times stronger is the red form than the Super Saiyan 3 form here, because a 40 equals 3.42 on the scale. 3.42 times 50 when we do the multiplication on the linear side equals 211. It's almost exactly 50 times stronger, which fits with what Toriyama has insinuated. It also falls below the 1/10% line for Beerus when Vegeta went rage against him. So this gives us a good indicator of where they fall. This is a nice little chart that shows you how powerful each form is in relation to God form red. This is where we are now going to take the fact that each of the forms have now gained the glow of the Saiyan divinity. As Beerus stated, the red glow of Saiyan divinity may have left you, but the strength now burns within you like a flame. The strength burns within all of those forms now. So essentially, you can take all of those forms and raise them up, with Goku's base form now being as powerful as God form red, and each of the other forms still maintaining the same distance of power away from each other, because there is no multiplication going on here. Remember what they said when Goku changed into that form, Super Saiyan, and the red was absorbed in him, he felt almost no change. This would indicate it on our scale here. If Goku went from Super Saiyan God at 216, and then he got +5 and he went up to 221 there into his Super Saiyan 1 form, he's going to feel almost next to no change, which is why our scale fits. Now, those who disagree with us are going to have to make up some sort of headcanon and to explain it away. They're going to have to say, well, you know, V&J reviews, they're just deceiving you guys. Yeah, he didn't feel any immediate change, but watch the fight. He gets stronger and stronger. We agree with that. We agree he got stronger and stronger. He's a Saiyan. He was getting stronger and stronger when he was in red form. Well, watch as it goes on further. He's able to do some certain things where he's able to fight against Beerus ways. We agree with that. But what didn't happen is a 50 times multiplier. Yes, he was getting stronger, but there was no 50 times multiplier going on here. He was unable to attain that multiplier until much later on. So this is currently the most accurate scaling for Dragon Ball Super. This is not a linear scale. Those of you who haven't stuck with us yet, just because like blue looks like it's only like 2 or 3 times stronger than red, it's not. Blue is far stronger than red. Go back to the old chart to figure out how that works, but this is a really good scaling system here for you. What we want to do is show you how Goku Super Saiyan forms scale up as he works his way towards blue. So take a look at this chart. You can see by that circle at right around 6 on the chart is where Goku in his red form starts. According to Toriyama's numbers, he's a 6. We've converted that chart over to this cube chart system for scaling purposes. Now, at this point, once Goku loses his God form red, or actually kind of absorbs it into his being, that's the point at which Goku becomes Super Saiyan, and he almost maintains the same exact power. In fact, though, he actually does get a little bit stronger, because Goku's base now becomes as strong as the red form, and his Super Saiyan form is the same distance away from his base form as it was before, but now it has the glow of the red divinity within it. As Beerus says, the red glow of Saiyan divinity may have left you, but the strength burns within you. So that strength burns within his Super Saiyan form. It also burns within his Super Saiyan 3 form. So you can see there where each of them are going to fall on this scale. They're going to each, in fact, be stronger than each other. Now, we took a little leeway with the red form. We weren't entirely sure where to place the red form. We know it's stronger than Super Saiyan 3. We don't know how much stronger it is. There's not too much indication on that. There was later some indication with the fight against Kefla, but we're going to go into that later. There is a reason why we kept the Super Saiyan God form where we did, but there was some later indications for that. We're not going to go in detail in it here. But what you're going to see here is how this scales up. Look at what happens after Goku trains for a little bit. They move up the scale towards the power of blue, and you can see how each one of the forms becomes more powerful, the base becomes more powerful, and each one becomes more powerful than the next. And then eventually, as he's training over time, this is not all of the training he's done, but over time he eventually achieves the multiplier in his Super Saiyan form. Again, as Goku stated, I am a Saiyan with the powers of a Super Saiyan God who is a Super Saiyan. And at that point, he achieved an immediate, massive multiplier, a 50 times multiplier to the base, which is his base form now, which is as powerful as God form Red used to be, and he becomes blue. That's when he achieves the multiplier, not beforehand. There is no indication he achieves a multiplier beforehand, as we have shown already. So you can see here how this chart scales up. It is his Super Saiyan form as a multiplier that achieves the blue form. Now, as he continues to go on, we don't know what he's going to achieve in the Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3 forms. It could still remain blue. Maybe he doesn't achieve them at all. Maybe Goku goes completely with the Ultra Instinct side of things. Maybe Vegeta will explore these forms. We don't know if it's going to look similar, different. We have no idea. We haven't actually seen it yet. So some people might say, well, okay, V&J Reviews, we see what you're saying. We see all the words and the indications here. We understand how you're scaling this, but why should Goku even transform at all if they're so close? Well, first of all, they're not actually that close to each other. There are power boosts as he moves up these. In fact, if he goes from his base to Super Saiyan, he does get a slight power boost. He also gets a greater speed boost. He has better ki control, better awareness, reaction. And the same thing for when he moves into Super Saiyan 2. He's going to get another power boost, greater speed, better ki control, awareness, reaction. There is a slight negative that he's going to use a little bit more stamina. And then when he moves to Super Saiyan 3, he's going to get even a greater boost, ki control, speed, awareness, reaction. However, he loses tons of stamina in this form, which is why you almost never see him go into that form. In fact, he usually skips right on from his Super Saiyan into his red form, which is going to give him the greatest power boost in ki control and awareness, and especially the speed, as we had stated before, why he went to his red form instead of blue form to maintain that speed. Its negative is that it does use more stamina, likely than base Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. However, it likely uses less stamina than Super Saiyan 3. So this is why Goku is going to want to go into each of these forms depending on the battle that's going on. Again, he receives no multipliers from these. There is just zero indication. There is no indication, at least in the anime. Again, the manga, they're fixing all this stuff in the manga. The manga is easy when it comes to scaling. The manga, there's no problems. This is not the movie either, Battle of the Gods. We're talking anime only, and we're showing you guys exactly what happened. And if there's someone out there who doesn't agree with that, that's fine. We respect their opinion. If somebody doesn't agree with us and they think, nope, Goku got the multiplier, he definitely did, he achieved it, we're fine with that. We respect that opinion. So, how do these forms fit on the scale before he absorbs the God Ki? Well, this is exactly where they would fit. This is very close to accurate. We're not 100% sure because we can't be perfectly sure on this. It's impossible. But this is very close. It's likely Goku's base is a 0.1 here on our chart, and that his Super Saiyan form is a 5, Super Saiyan 2 is a 10, 3 is 40, and then red is indicated by 216. Remember, this is not a linear scale. If it looks like blue is 2 or 3 times stronger than red, it's not. It's 50 times stronger than Goku's base when he's finally able to get that multiplier. And this is how they fit on the scale after Goku absorbs the red into his being. There is no immediate massive change. However, it is the red form, the red glow of his Saiyan divinity that now burns within him. So each of his forms adds that burn within it. It's only pertaining to strength because that's what's indicated, but he does get power boost as he goes up into each form, and he gets speed boosts as well. So this is how it looks as Goku's training, and he's moving his way up the power scale, but of course eventually he does get the multiplier, and that's where he's going to achieve the blue form. So with everything said, this is how we believe it most accurately fits with Dragon Ball Super and how it fits on our chart. We are just giving you guys exactly what we see, the words we see in the anime, the actions we see, and we are doing it to the best of our ability. Again, we absolutely respect anyone who wants to say that he achieved the multiplier. We just don't see that. We don't see the evidence of it, and it's not apparent to us, and we're not going to start going with the headcanon that he absorbed it over time because it doesn't make sense to us, so we need to make some sort of reasoning to say that, well, it didn't happen right away, but it was happening over time. That's just not a multiplier. It just isn't. And that's just not indicated at all. So we're going to go with what we see. And this, we believe, is the best, most accurate representation of what actually happened on the anime only, not the manga and not the movie. So we hope you guys enjoyed this one. We put a lot of work into it. We believe this is the closest representation up until this point. And as things come up, we will absolutely change certain things here and there if they need to be. But this is certainly the closest thing that we know that's out there. We tried to do our best on this one. And we hope, if anything, you guys at least enjoyed seeing all of the work that we had put in here as far as trying to give you the best, most accurate information possible for the anime. So with that, as always, if you have not subscribed up until this point and you enjoy the content we deliver and the work that we put into our stuff, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you guys come along with us on this channel. We have a lot to offer, and we have more things down the pipe. In fact, adding more people onto the chart, including Kefla, is going to be the next one. You're not going to believe this, all the stuff that we have on this, and we're going to add others like Frieza and some other characters as well that you guys are talking about. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. As always, this is Vinny.
And this is Joe.
Until next time.